Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. I'm your host and GM Alex Newall, and with me today I have...
Lydia Nicholas.
Bryn Monroe.
Ben Meredith.
Who are you playing?
The distressed, broken, dirty Hamid.
I guess I'll have to sort it out again then. Sasha.
Zolf Legless Smith.
So, it's all a bit perilous. We're underground.
If we were a DVD, we would have the disclaimer, contains mild peril.
I'd say we've escalated to moderate peril.
Damn.
Yeah. But...
and between me and Zolf, we have now 5 functional limbs.
You're rapidly approaching the point where between the two of you, you equal one medium-sized human. We are in the bowels of the catacombs beneath Paris, in the search of answers for all of the links for all of those names that we have been slowly discovering over time.
Yeah, I feel like we're really close to working out anything about what was going on.
Yeah.
However,
It's as clear as mud.
Oh!
Like tons of mud falling on our heads from a great height.
That is definitely how I feel about the situation.
But yeah, you're
Both
all...
literal and metaphorical.
It's funny how your priorities shift from how do we uncover this mystery to
How do I breathe?
how do I breathe? How do I uncover myself?
I'm breathe.
I've got air, wicked. The rest will sort itself out.
Yeah.
So,
Answers, smaltzes.
picking
Pyramid
up
of
where...
needs.
Yeah.
Breathing right.
Yeah,
at the
I've
bottom.
really shifted that pyramid for you recently.
Yeah.
We're now in the situation where Sasha is heading off on her own, investigating only a slightly, completely
Oh my god, there are these horrible
sound.
noises, aren't there? And there was a roar. Oh, what? It's so
but
bad.
it's
I'm
okay.
really hoping it's just a drain, and it just
Yeah.
sounds awful. It's really bad.
Or it's
That would actually be incredible.
Or Bertie's drunk and he's turned up to save us. Right, and you cast Hide from Undead.
Hide from undead. So
So
we are
you are
invisible.
currently hidden from undead.
Yep.
Actually,
half an
all
hour.
3 of you are for half an
Yeah.
hour.
There's no way it's going to be an undead, is it?
Oh, might be. You never know.
I will start with
No,
Hamid and Zolf. Just
Good.
for a little bit of a character moment.
Hamid is shaking and still covered in dirt and has not changed his outfit, which is a pretty bad sign.
Hamid, why don't you clean yourself up?
Yeah, that is, I should do that. I normally, this hand,
Well, treat it as a learning experience. You get to cast spells with your offhand now.
but I use both.
Ah, well, there must be some.
Maybe
one-armed
it'll
wizards.
it'll still work.
Give it a go.
How did it go? Something a bit like this, maybe? I succeed in casting Prestidigitation.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I've done my normal little ritual and summoned a hanky, and I'm just kind of staring at it.
In the pitch black.
Yep.
You need to. You're not gonna.
I sort of dab ineffectually at my face.
Come on, Hamid. Buck up. Could be worse.
Cut to Sasha.
Sneaking along. No, I don't hunt myself.
So-
I sneak along the corridor.
Okay, presumably you are trying to be stealthy, given the
Yes.
situation. Please give me a stealth roll.
Oh gosh, a 2.
These are the cursed dice from last session still,
Plus
aren't
8
they?
though, so 10.
10? Okay, that's fine. So as you proceed, the smell gets steadily worse, to the point where, yes, there is the roar, but it's a physical presence. It's that foul, the smell. It is pushing you away from where you are aiming for, because it's just repulsion. You are this close, holding up, as he says, holding up with a visual.
A small amount close.
You are a small amount close to being sickened. The actual condition, if you remember from all of the
Yep.
rotting
All those-
monkeys.
Yeah.
We
those
remember
things.
that condition.
Yep.
Yeah, basically that, just from this smell. It's vile. It's the worst you've had in a long time. You can still continue. You're not suffering the mechanical penalties, but it is bad.
Yep. I mean, you say I'm trying to be sneaky, but I am lighting my path with a loud wind-up.
Yeah, and the problem is that every minute.
Yep. So what I'll do is I go forwards, see there's nothing that bad that far, and then walk 5 paces back, rewind the thing,
Sure,
and then
it's very, very slow progress.
it's terribly unsneaky.
So you proceed in that manner. We'll say for about an hour. It's hard to judge time. You don't have a watch or anything like that, so it is just in your head. I mean, again, the whole other London thing means you're better at estimating than most.
Yeah.
But eventually, towards the end of that time, you notice that the working of the stone has become more and more primitive. So whilst it has been flagstones in poor condition, it's not unworked stone, but it's nearing that way. It like the workmanship is worse, and it's begun angling down slightly further. What used to be arches have become just squared off buttresses and things like that. And then you hear the clear sound of sloppy water ahead. It's hard to describe what it is.
Flopping.
Yeah, it's too viscous a sound to be water, but it is the clear sound of that directly ahead. And your torch, it appears that you've finally reached an opening. Your torch basically goes across it, and it's just darkness, implying that there's a large space on the other side that the torch beam isn't powerful enough to really penetrate.
What's a huge cavern?
You are at the entrance to what you presume is a huge cavern with that sound ahead.
She skirts around the edge of the wall, back to the wall, but still trying to kind of throw the light
So
to
you
see.
enter the cavern.
Yeah, I enter the cavern and I go, I think, to, let's say, the right. Just hug the wall.
Okay. The thing that you find is there's about a 5-foot ledge, and then it's almost, at first glance, it looks like a chasm. It has a 10-foot drop, and you think, oh, whoa, like it's like a huge bottomless chasm. Then you realise that you're not actually looking at darkness. What you're looking at is almost black liquid. It is rancid. Shining the torch on it, it's occasionally rippling, but there's not really much to it. And then suddenly
Is
you
it like
see,
the ectoplasm from Ghostbusters 2, but recoloured?
imagine that, but midnight black.
Like oil.
And then, just occasionally, you start seeing little bumps will poke up and then disappear down. At first it looks like they're alive, then you realise it's not, it's just detritus and things like that. Eventually, a bone pokes its way out of that sort of viscous liquid and drops down. Again, it is a rank, rank smell. You begin edging your way around and you see that it actually appears to be a man-made cavern as opposed to an artificial one. There is some elements of reinforcement in the ceilings, but
It's just like home.
but what clearly used to have been the floor has just imploded in and taken most of the floor with it. Whether it was an intentional demolition or something, there's no way of knowing. But it is full to about 10 feet below your ledge of just this vile liquid. And as you're going around, you start to see there's a few more pipes that are filing things in. One of them you recognise is human sewage, is pouring into that. Another one has...
Familiar substance
Another
to the
one.
underground living?
Yeah, keeping going beneath that pipe, which is overhanging, so you're not actually getting covered in stuff, but it is, pouring over your head.
Stinky.
Yeah. Keeping going, you then encounter like really sharp, vinegary smell coming from another one, where like a bright purple fluid is pouring in. And yeah, you're making your way around. It's clear that there are a number of these pipes that are pouring in just vileness into a huge, for lack of a better word, cesspit, something like that. You don't know what it is. Give me a perception check.
5 plus 7, so 12.
Echoing around the cavern, again you hear that call. It could be at any distance. It's certainly not close, because it's just not loud enough.
Okay, so I'm going to point the torch straight up to try and see and try and look at these pipes, hoping that maybe there's a sign that some of these pipes might lead up somewhere. I assume this is a very long thing. That
It's
I'm
actually
watching.
quite circular. It's
right.
just massive.
Okay, so that
And there's no
makes
way of telling how deep the liquid is, in the sense that, because it's relatively flat, it's not flowing.
Yep.
Who
Okay.
knows how deep it is and where it's running to?
In which case, yeah, looking up with the torch, trying to work out if there's any that look like they
There
might
are
be
some.
traversable.
There are some that actually look eventually traversable. So the ones that you passed first were quite small. Eventually you pass one that's massive, easily like 20 foot across, where it's almost oblong, and like the mouth is almost oblong in such a way that it's probably maybe a major Parisian sewer pouring in or something. Eventually you find one, they're just poking out of the wall randomly, and they're all rusted at the end, like it's not workmanship, it's someone put a pipe in there and went, that'll do, and then left it for hundreds of years. Finally, you encounter one which is roughly about as tall as Hamid, so you could fit in if you were sort of crouched over, and there's no liquid coming out of it.
Does it
There's
seem to be going up?
there's a slime in it, which is very, very slick. It's green. It smells like plant waste or something. And shining the light down, it goes flat, and then it starts to curve upwards slightly.
Still doesn't sound like something that Zolf could traverse. You know, Sasha's thinking to herself, maybe I could tie him to the trident and carry that. Like, maybe his little floating platform, you could sit on that. And
Cut back to Hamid and Zolf.
I've asked Zolf to teach me a cheery song to keep my spirits up.
I hate you, Bryn.
Maybe a sea shanty, a happy
Sailing
one.
around the sea.
I love the idea. Tell me a cheery song. What should we do with a drunken sailor? Put him in the... Oh, no, wait, that's horrible.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, most sea shanties are about death.
Well, let's not sing one
This
of
is where the
those then.
charisma comes in, where it's like, comfort me. You could be dead. You're not.
Yeah, not much of a singer, really. How about
That's
you
okay.
teach me one of your old university songs?
Oh, I don't remember any of those. I know some opera.
Right, am I?
That's mostly about death too.
Okay. Just very, very slow.
Yeah.
May I spy?
Cut back to Sasha. So, decision time.
I'm gonna
can't see anything.
I'm gonna head up the pipe a little way and shine the torch up.
Again, it looks like it'll be hard work, but manageable. It's going to be slow. I mean, there's Zolf who's propping himself up on a trident currently.
He can
It'd be-
float on his little disc.
It looks like it would be easier to just crawl up on all fours, but possible.
All right, I kind of make a decision, and I'm gonna head back to these guys.
Okay. Heading back, you start heading back across the route that you first took.
Edging around. So I need to stop. I'm really sorry. This isn't a recurring joke. This is just a problem in my brain. Okay, and oh god.
I'm
Okay,
going to add to your problems.
heading around the opening. Every time.
There is a
Silent
very
sneak.
wet stain. It appears that almost as if the liquid has been splashed all up against the wall and across the path that you walked on. So the liquid is still gently rolling and occasionally little ripples from where the liquids are pouring in. But it's very clear that there is a splatter of it across the walkway that you did, up the wall and disappearing up towards the ceiling.
I do not recharge the light, and I'm going to keep edging back around to, because now I just have my back against the wall, and I am silent as.
Give me a stealth check.
16 plus 8, so 24.
24. Give me a perception check.
10.
You haven't rolled above like a 4 for perception in 3 episodes.
Sasha's stressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there's a bit of mud still in her ears.
You cross across that stain, you're making your way back. You hear behind you, really close, an inch from the back of your head, maybe that, like very alien sound, and it is as close to you as it could possibly be without touching you.
I stab backwards.
Technically counts as surprise round.
Just blindly. Just, I got my spring loaded.
Oh, you got your spring loaded, that solves that problem. Do
Yep.
it. Give me an attack roll.
Okay, so that's 20, and then plus 2 flanking. Does this count as...
No.
Are they
No.
flat-footed, is the thing?
Yes.
They're not expected...
So you'll get sneak attack damage.
Right, okay.
Okay, you successfully hit. Roll me damage.
So if she's fighting in complete darkness, there's this whole concealment chance, but since she's just doing it straight behind her anyway, maybe that doesn't
You know
apply
what?
here?
Concealment starts to kind of stop applying when her reach
Yeah, fair
and the
enough.
thing that she's fighting is so large that concealment doesn't really apply.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you're fine.
3, 4, 5.
There is a deafening roar from behind you. Really bizarre vocalizations that are utterly unnatural. It almost is damaging you, it's that loud. Cut to Zolf and Hamid.
Oh. I spy, with my little eye, something beginning with...
Echoing across the tunnel.
Evil!
Sasha, that roar has just happened.
Yep.
What do you do?
I run. I leg it.
Yep. You leg it.
It sounds like you're just like, yes, that was the right thing. The right thing.
That's,
well
that's
done.
correct.
You've chosen.
So scared.
You've chosen. the
Presumably
correct
you
option.
charge back exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm
That's
gonna.
fine. So you begin that run.
Yep.
Give me a perception check.
Yeah. Well, but like I'm
Yeah,
used
no,
to
I know.
running
She's
in
stuck,
darkness.
she's stuck to the side. She's used
I
to it.
know, yeah.
I'm going to allow it.
5.
5?
Plus 7.
Okay. So you run. You find the entrance. You dart down it. You start running.
Okay,
Nothing happens.
that's cool. I'm gonna keep legging it.
Ahead of you, from 2 tunnels that you thought were just little alcoves, something shifts. You hear it. You can't see it. You haven't got your torch lit, but you
Okay.
definitely hear it. And it's gone.
I'm running.
Give me another perception roll.
Oh, this one's finally a decent one. So 15 plus 7. Thank
Okay. You hear nothing, but you do start approaching where you left the others, because obviously you were moving so slowly with that torch.
Yep.
Bombing it back now, you're all right.
So now I'm gonna begin to walk quietly, because now maybe I don't want whatever's pursuing me to know exactly where I'm going.
Zolf,
Hello.
cutting to you, you see Sasha at the very edge of your dark vision, re-entering that vaulted room where there were multiple channels.
Behind her, a horde.
She is moving really stealthily. Like, you can't hear anything. Hamid's not even aware she's there, but you, obviously, with your dark vision, can see it. She's moving absolutely silently. Hovering over her are 2 tentacles. They are currently from outside the corridor, and they're just draping and playing around her head, completely silently.
Oh dear. Sasha, run! It's above you!
I'll leg it. I'll run, give you the light,
Okay.
and then take a 5-foot step in front of them. So of all of the people to stand and take the damage, it's not really built for that. But I guess compared to these two,
Well, so you charge towards them, you throw Zolf the light,
yeah,
and you
I will
can
catch
see
the
him.
light and hand it to Hamid.
Sure.
he can't wind it. He's only got one arm.
Oh dear.
Why I threw it to you?
Yeah.
So you try and go. Oh no, never
No,
mind.
no. Okay, I'll
So
wind
you,
it.
you ching ching spin
Yeah.
round. In the time that it took for that to happen, you saw the tentacles retreat away.
So now there's
What
light.
was it, Zolf?
Now-
What's
I've done
there?
it. Shh, 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 shh. It's gone.
Wait, so what was it? What was it? I just
There's
look. It was
there was-
behind me, and I stabbed it, and then I legged it.
There were some tentacles above you.
What?
Yeah, just like brushing to your head.
How? Like I didn't hear anything behind me. Nothing sneaks up on me, Zolf. Nothing. Are you sure you didn't imagine it? Nothing sneaks
It's
up on
pitch
me.
black down here. It will be designed to hunt in complete darkness. The only sense is sound. That's why, right? So
It's hunting us. It's
Yeah,
hunting us.
it's
It's hunting us in the dark. It's hunting us in the dark.
Um,
It's fine. Maybe I could set it on fire.
There's another echoing cry. It could be from any distance, the same one.
Okay, I'm gonna get the firebomb.
did you find anything?
I went down for about an hour because I was trying to be sneaky. I found a big cesspit, all sorts of weird chemicals flowing out of, I guess, Paris down there. I went
Zolf,
around.
as she speaks, you see a tentacle poke out from one of the side tunnels. Not the one that you saw last time, a different one. It has an eye on the end of it. It turns. It's glassy, so it's almost like it's got cataracts or something, but it can clearly see.
I'll shine the light in its eye.
Snatches its eye back. There's no scream of pain, nothing like that.
It's still there.
Right, so it's big enough to be out of 2 tunnels.
I don't know.
Maybe there's several of them. All right. Okay, so the plan of running back in there and setting it on fire. It basically is a big cesspit. I found a tunnel that I thought we could climb up.
Okay.
But then as I came back, there was something behind me and I just stabbed at it wildly and legged it. I thought I'd got away, but obviously it's followed me. I'm sorry I brought it back
No,
here.
It's fine.
There's one more tunnel and no tentacles have come out of that. We could just dash down that.
I think
I don't think Zolf can
I can't.
dash
I
anywhere
can't
right now.
walk.
Can you make your hovery thing? Can you sit on that?
It won't move very fast.
I could pull it, push the disc. You make
I
your
mean,
little
you-
disc and I'll push it. It'll be like a stretcher.
You wouldn't move very fast, but faster than
hobbling along.
Okay. All
At
right.
the very edge, the very, very edge of your dark vision, you can just maybe make out movement. I should point out, by the way, dark vision is normally black and white. There's no colour to it. That's the way it works. But the very, very edge, so it's in the darkness, you just see, like a chicken's leg, that shape to it.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but large. And by that I mean mechanically appropriate for a large creature. That, with a tentacle wrapped around it, sort of moves just in and out of your vision. You see the eye poke in and then pull back, and it's just lingering at the exact edge of your vision.
I'm going to prep a bomb.
You cannot make out a form to it. Occasionally there's a tentacle, occasionally there's a stinger. For a moment you see what might be a mouth, certainly teeth.
Right, you cast your disc. I'm going to blow this thing up, and then we're going to run down the tunnel. I don't know what it leads to, but I don't know how it can be worse than tentacle or cesspit and tentacles.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I will cast that. It's supernatural, so I don't need to do anything.
The second that you begin casting something, it's gone from your vision again.
And I'll get on the disc. It's around. This will last about 3 minutes, and I'll do it again.
Right.
Totally, I've got about 20 minutes.
I am going to run to the tunnel that all the tentacles have come out of and throw a bomb down it blindly and then run back.
Roll it on the off chance of a fumble.
Yep.
Or a crit.
5.
5.
Even.
You just lob it down.
Yep.
There's a certain bits of dust fall down. In fact, listening, you hear off in the distance somewhere the distinct sound of as a bunch more earth and stone falls. It's hard to tell the direction, certainly not in your current situation.
Does it create any light?
It's closer to a concussive grenade blast than
Right.
anything with a flash to it. It's not a flashbang.
While Zolf is casting Floaty Disc, I'm going to attempt to cast Mage Armour. And I rolled that for 20, so I succeed.
You succeed, wicked.
It is particularly
You know
good
what?
armor.
We've never seen this before. Describe it, because Zolf can see it at least. In fact, Sasha, there is a light. There's enough light now. You've got the torch going. How's it look? What's it sound like? Describe it to me. How's it smell?
So I surround myself, conjuring it from my one moving hand. I surround myself with a very faint, unearthly, dull yellow glow, and you can see the pattern of. Very faintly, you can see a pattern of scales within it, and essentially it creates a little bubble around me that just flickers very slightly. It doesn't provide any light, but it strengthens when I'm attacked, essentially.
When it happens, Zolf, you see, and only you see, as it's happening, there is definitely almost the appearance of scales moving across almost all of his skin. Nothing huge, it's not a big, elaborate thing. And obviously you've got no colouring, but it's almost like seeing his skin has dried out. And you know those patterns you can get on dried skin? Scaly, almost.
Magic.
Yeah.
Don't know how these,
Probably
wizards.
Don't know
because
nothing
you
about
still,
arcane.
you still think that
It's
he's a wizard, right? So it's just like
No.
how they.
We
do
all
it,
think he's a wizard.
It's
Probably
all
nothing.
really strange.
So, are we ready to enter initiative order then?
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm going to sit on the thing. I'm going to have the trident kind of set in the crook of an arm.
You
And I'm-
jousting?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm going to be winding using the other hand to wind it because I'll get it in between my thighs so that we've got a light constantly.
I love this! Who's pushing you?
fan
I
art.
don't know.
Fan art.
Sasha
Well,
has a bigger movement speed than me, so I'm assuming this will slow her down to my speed.
I'm running, because I've thrown the bomb. Something has collapsed, hopefully enough, the tunnel. And coming back and pushing you down the third tunnel.
Okay, so, can I get initiative rolls from everyone?
Ooh,
19.
21.
Ooh.
10.
Slightly worse because you're a worse
Oh,
person.
yeah.
Now, we're into the slight limitations of this system, which is you are all sort of acting simultaneously, and this whole weird pseudo-chariot thing you've got going on does really stretch the bounds of it a little bit. So you're going to have to bear with this, and there's going to be a little bit of fluffing the details, I think. So, Sasha, you're first on initiative order.
Yep.
What do you do? Presumably...
I push Zolf
Yep.
down the third tunnel. And
Okay.
particularly because now he's got his trident crooked out in front.
Mhm.
It's just running blindly with a stabby
As
thing.
fast
Got
as
the
you
light.
can.
Got the light in front
Yeah,
of
the
we've
light
got
as
light in
well.
front of us. What we don't have any idea is
Yeah.
what's behind us.
Yeah, if anyone wants to make GIF art of us, with a dwarf on hovering disc.
It's just a black square that doesn't refresh, and it's because they just picked a different angle.
Yeah.
Hamid.
I'm running along beside them,
Okay.
trying
Zolf.
desperately not to worry about what's behind us.
Zolf. You are currently moving on Sasha's action. Are you doing anything extra apart from just keeping the light lit? And...
Counting.
Okay.
Got 3 minutes. If
Okay.
I let this fall, then I have to get back on it again. So my plan is to cast a floating disc underneath it.
So,
Just have a bump.
so you're charging.
I'm the cutlery and it's the tablecloth.
You're charging down. With the light on, you see that it was a miracle that you didn't trip on the way. There's loose bits of stone and kind of thing on the floor. You got lucky just making it the whole sprint in the dark.
Yeah.
You got lucky not tripping over a flagstone. Again, with the light, it's fairly easy. It's not like the whole thing's a chasm. But 3 minutes passed, and you run into a dead end. It's caved in. It's just blocked off.
Alright guys, what magics do you have that might be good for a tentacle monster that is so large that it spans 2 tunnels? It seems to have I haven't seen anything.
You haven't seen a single part of this creature. Neither of you have. The only one that's seen anything is Zolf.
Right, here's how it's working. I have another 15 minutes of this. After that, I can't move.
Right.
At that point, you leave me and you go.
We can't leave you here, Zolf.
What? Okay, at that point, we both die. Right, we're going down the first tunnel. So we go back at this speed, we go down the first tunnel, get on with it.
As you say that, in the very distance edge of your vision, from above, that eye comes, has a look, and then pulls away again.
We need to go now. Just go. Go.
Alright, so I push Zolf back and go up the unknown tunnel.
Because you are still at the cave-in from the corridor that you picked first time, you are going to be charging directly towards where you just saw the creature.
Yep.
Okay,
We're
that's
going to
fine.
be shining a light at it.
No, it's fine. As you charge towards it, Zolf, you see there was a small crack in the ceiling where it had poked a eye hole through. It powers on. You glance over your shoulder. There's nothing there. Eventually, charging.
Yep.
The same amount of time passes. You find yourself back in that crossroads.
Yep.
And presumably go dead on for
Straight
the other
forward.
side.
Yep. Charging a lot. No. I'm charging. I'm pushing a disc.
Sure.
I've got like a. Yep.
So you are all now getting really tired. You've been sprinting back and forth, back and forth.
Well, in a sense.
Sasha,
You've been winding
Old
the
no legs.
Sasha, Hamid, and Zolf charging ahead. Suddenly coming into view at the extreme end of the light, you see one of those weird sort of chicken legs at a contorted angle, slightly furred and matted hide, and 2 tentacles which have sharp barbs at the end of them, whipping back and forth right at the edge of the light,
So
The
down
tunnel.
that way.
down the way that you're going.
I stop pushing and I throw a bomb over your head right at it.
I cast sleep.
Okay, give me an attack roll first.
17 plus 5, so
Nice.
22, and it does 2d6 plus splash. This is my last bomb.
It hits square.
Nice.
Still got the fire flask.
Yeah, I've still got those. Oh, 4 and 5, so 9.
Okay,
Plus 2 splash damage.
Hamid.
I cast sleep.
Okay,
I successfully cast sleep. If it's got 4 hit dice or less, it has to make a will save.
okay.
The DC is 15.
It does not stop moving. It does give a roar when the bomb hits, and then disappear down the side tunnel.
Go, go, go.
Yep, I push.
Okay.
Running, although I said running, walking fast.
Yeah, it's fast.
Okay, charging ahead. You pass the tunnel, obviously, that the thing disappeared down. It's small. It looks like, for such a large creature, it's probably contorted itself in
Yeah,
some
yeah.
weird ways to get down there.
Made of tentacles.
And
I
you,
throw a firebomb in there as we pass.
on the
it.
pass,
Yep.
give me an attack roll not to bodge it.
6.
The 6 on the roll, but you get plus 5, so it's an 11.
Okay, so with an 11, yeah, you throw it down. As we spurt a flame, there's no scream of anger or anything. Continuing for another about 5 minutes,
We cast a couple of
Yep.
times, I guess.
you find yourselves at the opening to a large cavern again. This time, as you've been running, that kind of rough, rudimentary working is gone. You are entering an actually natural cave formation at this point. It's unworked stone. The ground gets very bumpy and wobbly and starts taking some weird angles, gets jagged to the point where you can't really keep sprinting in this way because it's just such jagged angles. You know, suddenly you're having to duck quite low, another time you're having to almost push him up over. Finally you make it through to this natural cave formation. There is a worked stone bridge across a large, extremely long, maybe 40 foot, what looks like a natural ravine almost. The work stone is rudimentary in the ways that were before. Clearly someone tried to cross this a very long time ago and that's what left. It looks in very bad condition. The ravine disappears off. You hear the sound of running water at the very, very bottom of it, and it's clear that whilst the walls of this cavern mean that you're only exposed to maybe sort of a 50-foot lengthwise, as it were, it's clear that it continues underneath the walls in further directions.
Are we gonna cross?
I'll go back.
We shouldn't all go on it at once. I'll take a piece of rope across the other side and I'll pull.
We need to get on with this. I've got about 10
Okay.
minutes of being able to move.
I go. I'm gonna cross first.
Okay?
Because I'm the lightest. I'm very light.
Oh, I'm going to tie a knot around under your arms and hold the other end of the rope.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've grabbed. Well,
So,
we've grabbed
yeah.
a piece of rope and just.
So
very
heading
quickly.
across, are you going quickly or are you going slowly?
I'm going fast, but
Okay.
I've grabbed one end of the rope and just
As you go
kind
across,
of circled myself.
bits of it fall off, you
I
see them
start to slow down.
dropping away.
To be more careful.
You nonetheless can make it to the far side with the rope. There's one brief period where a good 5-foot square of stone just drops, and you have the really, really disturbing thing where it falls, and it's falling for so long that you barely hear the splash. You just have a and then silence as it falls.
I'm
But
gonna
you
jump
make
on-
it to the far side.
I jump on the disc with Zolf and pull along
Yeah, and pull the.
so
pull
that
the
our
rope.
weight isn't directly on
The weight isn't actually on it at all
Yep.
because it's floating. It can float 3 feet above solid ground. So
Okay?
Yep.
Zolf, give me a perception check.
no. 6.
You'll see that you're in a cavern.
What is your AC?
It is 16 because I don't have my shield out.
Okay? Sasha,
Yep.
give me a perception check.
23.
Okay. The second that you are pulled out over the bridge, there is a flash of colour, a deep, deep purple. And what looks to be one of those barbed tentacles snaps out from beneath the bridge, so it was backed up against the cliff wall,
Oh.
sneaks out. There was no way Hamid could have seen it, and it was the only reason you're seeing anything at all is the light between Zolf's legs briefly catches a colour. It wraps itself around Zolf's bad leg
Okay.
and sinks in. The barb jabs straight in.
Anyone seen 127 hours?
Yeah.
2 peg legs.
Well, I've already got one useless leg because I might, die of poison.
It sinks the barb in, yanks you. Give me what your combat maneuver defense is.
CMD is 13.
Okay? Meanwhile, what's your AC, Sasha?
17.
Okay.
I need all my limbs. I need them to climb.
Okay.
Are you determined to murder us, Alex?
This is an audio podcast, so people can't see the faces I'm pulling.
Ah!
Gleeful.
Would you like
These
us
things-
to describe it with our faces?
And what's your combat maneuver defense?
It
CMD.
is 14.
Okay. These things happen simultaneously.
Oh.
So, Zolf. It snaps out, jabs its barb into your good leg, yanks.
Can't hold on.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a good leg, so
Yeah.
doesn't grab anything.
Do I get like a?
Yeah, what does
get,
it miss?
you get a reflex save. 11. Yanks you clear of the disc. Flings you out into the ravine. You plummet.
Okay.
Simultaneously, Sasha. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the important thing. You also take 8 damage.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's really not the
Oh,
important
sorry,
bit.
sorry,
Being
am I-
flung into a ravine.
Am I underselling this? It's going to get worse. Sasha,
Yeah.
without realising it because the light wasn't shining there, round your left leg from the other side of the bridge, jabs its barb in. You also, I did roll these, take 8 damage. Give me a reflex save.
23.
23.
Yep.
It yanks you.
How high do you have to roll to dodge
Let me
this
finish my
tentacle?
sentences.
Is it a tentacles?
Let me finish my sentences or I'll just kill you.
Oh.
That's how GMing works.
Yay.
It yanks you.
Yep.
You writhe violently. It loses its grip on you,
Yay.
but pulls you till you are hanging
Ooh.
over the bridge.
Is this an acrobatics check?
As
Well, I mean, if I get to react to like falling, I would like to try and basically just throw my trident at where it is.
give me. I've got you covered. You've got to let me actually GM, and I'll finish this.
No, we don't want to because you're me.
True story.
As Zolf plummets,
Yep.
the torchlight sweeps across the cliff face,
Yep.
and for one horrifying moment,
Yep.
it is outlined in front of you. You are about a foot away from it.
Oh.
It is the most hideous amalgamation of limbs. There are tentacles with eyes. There are legs on the end of tentacles. There are barbs everywhere. There's no part of its misshapen torso that doesn't have a limb coming out of it, apart from a circular mouth. And that mouth has teeth within teeth within teeth. And it has a long snaking tongue that is basically powering out towards you. It gives that roar again,
So that mouth
incredibly
is a foot
loud.
away from me.
Yes, bear with me. Zolf, take your reaction.
I'll chuck my trident because I can't do anything else. That's just dex bait, isn't it?
Yep.
4.
4. Glances off the cliff.
It's like you don't like the trident.
That's my last resort.
Yeah, fair.
Sasha, what do you do?
I throw my last fire blast
Give me an attack roll.
into its mouth. 6 plus 5, so 11. It's
11?
a foot away, right?
You throw it. What you thought was part of its bodily mass just rises away. It shatters onto the cliff. It does seem to pull away from where the flame is upon the cliff, and then it lunges towards you. Cut to Hamid at the far end of the bridge. You saw Zolf plucked off the bridge. You saw Sasha plucked off. She's hanging on by one arm, having failed to taking it off, and you're seeing Zolf plummet. You don't even hear him scream as he disappears.
No!
Wait, no. Thy fools.
And we'll close the episode there.
I was here all for this one as well, by the way, guys. Just so everyone knows.
You knew. I warned you.
No,
of
it's
this.
fine. I've been sat here in silence for 2 whole sessions.
I didn't
warned
even
you.
know you could be so. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, it's an acquired skill.
All of the miming was quite distracting.
I'm going to assume that the light from the fire flask has at least given me enough sense of where it is to start casting magic missiles.
Yeah.
I don't get to use both hands anymore.
Oh yeah, I took
It's
one of those
not.
away.
It's not dual wielding. It's pew 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 from one hand.
It was just pew.
No, it's still pew pew. I still get to cast 2.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so having
we should
put
write
you,
this down.
so having put you in fairly bad position.
Yeah, fairly.
I mean-
he's plummeting still.
You haven't hit the bottom yet, so you're still alive.
Yeah, I'm not sure if...
I'd love to say that you level up to the point where you can cast fly on the way down. You don't.
No.
But we will wrap up the episode there.
Bye.
Be sure to tune in the next week, and we might.
Next week, when we're introducing our characters, it will be Ben playing. Well, I don't know.
Well, my sign-off is...
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast distributed by rustyquill.com and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial International License. Today's episode was recorded and produced by Alexander J. Newall. To comment on episodes, make donations, and view links, images, videos, and show notes, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us on iTunes. Visit us on Facebook. Tweet us on Twitter at @TheRustyQuill, or email us at mail@rustyquill.com. Thanks for listening.
guys notice that the 10 seconds before each episode, where he's counting out, Alex's expression suggests that that's the favourite part of his day.
A small amount of silence.
Just
Yes, it really is.
His eyes closed and the little smile.
Imagine all of the worst sounds of an insect or a spider. You know, the clicking.
Like that.
You still got use.
Yeah.
Still got use. Hamid and Zolf.
Good.
Just for a little bit of a character moment.
No pressure, just role play your asses off.
I just want to say, so it's all a bit then, isn't it?